All right, welcome to the Whiskey Weigh-In. I'm Brenton Arrington.
And I'm Shay Huffman.
And sorry that it's taking us so long to do this. I know you guys don't realize it because I've clipped it out, but maybe we'll see bloopers later. Anyways, UFC on ESPN 3 is coming up, and we wanted to do a quick video to do predictions for these fights. And Shay has some opinions, I have some opinions, and we're going to fight it out. So... First fight, Tyron Woodley versus Robbie Lawler.
Which was canceled. And I will say, if this was on the card, this card would be over the top. Amazing, free card. Possibly the card of the year that's not a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it would have been quite a banger. I can't wait to see Tyron Woodley get back into the octagon and really show his stuff. I was very disappointed to see how he performed against Usman. Mm-hmm. I still think that there was some other stuff going on in his head, psychologically. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I've never seen Woodley get demolished like that on the ground. Because he is usually the one dominating on the ground. He's a great wrestler, great striker. Just off night is what I think. And a little news on Robbie Lawler. He actually just signed on to fight Colby Covington. I believe it's in August.
I did not know that, but I hope he knocks him out. I would love to see that.
August 3rd, yep. It's fight night 156, main event.
Wow. That is awesome. I'm really excited to see that. I just want to see both of those guys back in the octagon, Tyron and Robbie.
Yeah, I like them both.
Both of them coming off of tough losses. Robbie to Ben Askren and Tyron to Usman. And it's going to be a tough road ahead for the both of them, but they're both very talented veteran fighters, and we'll see what happens. All right, first light heavyweight fight, Alonso Medfield versus Paul Craig. What is your prediction here?
All right, so in this one I have Paul Craig all day. He's going up against someone that's undefeated, but the reason I like Paul a little bit more, a lot of his wins come by submission. So I'm a big wrestler. So give me someone that can give me a submission for a win, for sure.
So you're going Paul Craig, but Alonso Medfield is on an 8-0 winning streak.
That's right. Give me Paul Craig all day.
Is it because he's the veteran, or you just like his style better?
I like the wrestling. He has a little bit more of a submission game, so I'm taking the wrestler.
Looks like both guys have 76-inch reach. Physically almost the same. One 2-inch taller than the other, but same reach advantage. Yeah, I'm not even sure where to go here. I have not seen either one of these guys fight. I guess I might take your word for it to go for Paul Craig, but just to play devil's advocate, I'm rooting for Alonso.
Okay, I like it.
Drew Dober and Marco Polo Reyes. What a name there. Is that his real name, Marco Polo? That's great.
Great name, isn't it?
Okay, Drew looks like he's quite the veteran compared to this guy. 20 fights, 9 losses. And Marco only 8 fights, 5 losses. Do you know anything about these guys, background-wise?
Yeah, a little bit. Drew's been fighting for a long time. So in this fight, though, in my opinion, what I think, either it's going to be a knockout or it's going to decision. I don't really think there's any in between. And if anything, it could be a knockout in the first round. Both these guys like to slug it out. So you really don't know who's going to win. But if I'm picking one, I'm going to pick Drew for sure.
So we're more familiar with Drew. Obviously, we've seen him in more fights.
Mm-hmm.
Marco Polo Reyes, though, 4 years older than Drew. 34. He must have gotten started late.
Yep.
Still seems to be a great fight, though. We'll be looking forward to seeing that one. All right, Roosevelt Roberts and how do you pronounce this next guy's name? Vince Pichel. Okay. Yep. What do you got here? Roosevelt seems to be undefeated, 8-0. Vince Pichel, 11-2.
I'm going Roosevelt all day in this one. I'm not really too sure why. I just have a feeling he's going to keep the undefeated streak going. Vince is a great fighter, but I like Roosevelt. I've seen a little bit of him fight, and I think he gets it done. But I do like Vince's nickname. It's Vince from Hell, Pichel. Can't really get wrong with that nickname, though.
Yeah, I could see that. Vince is 36 years old. Roosevelt, 25. More of a young cat, quite a reach advantage. Well, 2 inches. Roosevelt standing 6'1". Finch only 5'8", but only 2-inch reach difference. That's pretty interesting. All right, so these next two guys, not strangers to us, Demian Maia and Anthony Rocco Martin. Both have had a lot of fights in the UFC. Demian Maia 26-9, Anthony Rocco Martin 16-4. You have Demian Maia taking this to the ground and finishing it, or what do you think?
Yeah, I have Maia winning for sure. I really like Maia. I won't say one of my favorite fighters, but he's just one of those people I really enjoy to watch. A lot of people don't like his style just because, it can definitely be boring. But, once you really get into the sport, you respect what he can do. He's just a straight specialist. He's a little bit older, and he's had a tough going out his last couple fights. He might have won his last one. He won his last one. Before that, he lost. Cannot go against Demian Maia against anyone, though. I mean, he can jump on your back and he can just submit you while you're standing up.
Yeah, it's tough to bet against Maia, especially if he's able to wrap the guy out and get his jiu-jitsu in. How about this next fight? Jussier Formiga, Joseph Benavidez.
This is a tough one for me because I was leaning toward Joseph for a while, but then Jussier Formiga, I don't know. I kind of forgot about a couple of his fights, and now I really don't know. I'm torn. I feel like Benavidez is the obvious pick here, and I feel like I've been going chalk for most of them. You know what? I'm going to stick with Joseph Benavidez. That was my original pick. I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah, keep in mind these are two flyweights. This is the co-main event. I think we have pretty high expectations for this fight. Justin Formiga, 23-5. Joseph Benavidez, 27-5. Lots of victories, not very many losses under these guys' belts. I'm expecting quite a banger and probably for it to last the whole time if it doesn't end in knockout, obviously. So we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be an exciting fight for sure, but probably not as exciting as our main event. Francis Ngannou and Junior Dos Santos. Obvious one here. Junior Dos Santos is going to win. He's the more technical fighter. He's the better boxer. He has more experience. I think Francis still thinks that he relies a little too much on his power. And I don't know if it's going to work out for him. I think Junior Dos Santos is just too technical, too careful, too talented, and all around better. So I know you agree with me here.
Nope. We're definitely disagreeing on this one, man. Francis has too much power. If he connects one time on Junior, it's over. I will say if Junior can make it out of round one and then make it maybe about half of round two, I think he probably wins. But he has to last the first round and a half. I don't know. I don't necessarily see him doing it. But right now, the odds are Ngannou minus 250 favorite and Junior at plus 210 underdog. Probably not one I would want to bet a lot on, I'm not going to lie. But if I'm putting money down, it's going to Francis.
What about the fight that Junior Dos Santos had with Brock Lesnar? Do you recall that one?
Yeah, I do.
Somebody who's big and powerful and even dangerous on the ground.
Right.
Junior still picked him apart and bloodied him up and took him out.
I feel that's completely different because Francis is a way better striker. I think Francis is the most dangerous fighter.
Show me pics of my dog track, and it does. I'm talking all of them.
My bad.
I think Francis is the most dangerous fighter in the UFC.
I can't really argue with that. I've never seen him in person, but I've heard multiple accounts of people who have seen him in person. He seems like one of the biggest, scariest looking guys that walks the earth that doesn't take steroids. I don't know how you look like that without steroids, but he somehow gets away with it. Anyways, that's the Whiskey Weigh-In podcast. That is our predictions for the UFC on ESPN 3. I think that we have a lot more to talk about with these fights. Maybe we'll be able to give our quick recap right afterwards, and you'll see us again soon. Thanks for watching.